We're looking at Hampsey going into midfield there, and Colin Kavanagh against David Murray and then Adrian Spillane. But you're looking at one of the most athletic teams in the country in Tyrone against one of the most skillful teams. It's going to be an intriguing battle and a contest right to the end.
Maurice Deegan checks his watch, and the semi-final gets underway. And straight away it is Kerry getting their hands on the ball immediately here. In the thick of the action down there is Tom O'Sullivan winning the free kick, which David Moran takes all the way up towards the big man in there, David Clifford, but coming out with it. The Tyrone defenders getting that first possession out as far as Kieran McGeary. It was Hampsey who managed to get the initial ball away. Picked up here by Conor Myler. Wonder what job he will have been given by Mickey Hart. Back as far as Niall Morgan. Light breeze blowing across the field from left to right as Tyrone attack. And down there went Matty Donnelly. Little tangle of legs. Freed to Tyrone. First opportunity for them to apply some pressure. Taken very quickly here by Richie Donnelly. Taken back by Frank Burns as far as Michael Cassidy. First championship season for him. Cathal McShane, who's had a wonderful last couple of months. Colin Kavanagh moving forward with Frank Burns here alongside him. Again, Conor Myler getting his hands on the ball, but not a very good ball forward. Easily cut out by Paul Murphy. And then for Brian O'Biagli to move it forward past the 45-metre line. David Moran, Stephen O'Brien. This is Shane Enright. Paul Gainey now well away, out at right half forward at this stage, trying to move it in. O'Brien getting his hands on the ball again, looking to see who he can get to support him. It was David Moran. Finally, Adrian Spillane. His brother is on the far wing at the present time, Killian. Tom O'Sullivan moving it in, transferred by Sean O'Shea. Back here as far as Gavin Crowley. Measured build-up here by Kerry, but they haven't made any progress so far. Tyrone have got everybody back inside their own 65-metre line. Killian Spillane now. Taking it back there from Clifford is Adrian Spillane. Back once again it goes as far as David Clifford, trying his luck with this one. Didn't look very confident. First wide of the game.
Yeah, and I think you're seeing straight away that Kerry are going to be very patient in their attack, and Ronan McNamee is taking up David Clifford, and on the other end of the pitch Matty Donnelly has gone into full forward, and Colin McShane is in there as well, so they're going with a two-man full forward line. Well,
that is encouraging from a game's point of view. That's a great kick out potentially, but it just went past Kieran McGeary and he couldn't retain it. Gavin Crowley. Brilliant ball in, but too near to the goalkeeper, and Morgan's able to get it away quickly out as far as Michael Cassidy. Two potentially good long balls played by both teams, trying to be creative and trying to produce something special. Colin Kavanagh. Forward here by Richie Donnelly. Here's Kieran McGeary. We're used to seeing Kieran McGeary in the past play as a wing forward for Tyrone, but he's slotted in very neatly into that number 6 position. Into Matty Donnelly. Holds it well. This is Porrick Hampsey. He was superb in last year's All-Ireland final. Tyrone's top man on the day. Matty Donnelly. Frank Burns now, change of direction to get past Shane Enright. Does really well. Has a support player here as well. And that's booted over the bar. Nicely done. Really good start here by Michael McKernan and by Tyrone. They take the lead.
Yeah, great score and great patience, and that's what they need to do. Very direct running by Frank Burns and laid it off. Good pass, but Paul Murphy is playing as a sweeper. He's dropping back as much as he can.
Stephen O'Brien now from the Kerry kick-out. Challenged immediately there by Kieran McGeary. Clifford involved. All the way across to Enright. Looking to try and turn inside. Played it back to Tom O'Sullivan instead. Enright stayed forward. Gives it to Adrian Spillane. The other midfielder, David Moran. Missed the Donegal match here. Was missed on the day as well. But good to see him back. Enright's fouled. Free in for Kerry. Chance to draw level.
Yeah, and Matty Donnelly be very disappointed. Just put in his hand across the shoulder of Shane Enright, and it's a very soft free to give away, and something that'll frustrate Mickey Hart.
Matty Donnelly, one of 3 key players in attack, along with Peter Hart and Cathal McShane for Tyrone. So David Clifford from Fossa, ready to strike the equaliser. No problems to him. Point apiece, early stages.
You can see already the Kerry forwards putting a lot of pressure on the Tyrone kick out, trying to put pressure on Niall Morgan, and he gets it out very simply.
Well, he was forced to kick long, and there was nobody at all picking up. Michael Cassidy took it with ease all the way down towards McShane, trying to win his battle there against Jason Foley. Foley helped out this time by Enright. David Moran picking it up. Adrian Spillane was free and available. Plenty of space in front of him. Looking to try and reach Killian Spillane. Bounced unkindly for him. All the way back as far as Niall Morgan, playing in his 36th championship match. His free-taking ability from those long-range frees will be important, you would imagine. Frank Burns, again given every opportunity to carry it forward. Kerry now getting the bodies back there. They go long towards Cathal McShane. His marker Jason Foley will have a busy afternoon, and that's just an indication of why. Never the danger.
Yeah, and it does look, Jared, that Kerry are starting to struggle with this defensive system. They don't know exactly the role of Paul Murphy right now. He's been lost. He's letting Frank Byrne drift down the pitch, and he's trying to get cover space, but it's not working at the minute.
And they've lost their kick out as well. Frank Burns to apply further pressure. It's always said that when Kerry trying to play with an additional man, a sweeper back there, they're never quite absolutely sure of how it works. Matty Donnelly has no difficulty knowing where the posts are. First chance, first point, and Tyrone lead by 2.
Yeah, that's the threat. You have Matty Donnelly, you have Cathal McShane starting extremely well. They were delighted with that, but the Kerry defence right now is a bit at sea. They can't get the grips with these guys, and if Tyrone can exploit it, they're going to cause a lot of danger.
There was a late challenge there on Gavin Crowley by Colin Kavanagh. The referee didn't take any action. Gavin Crowley certainly felt it, trying to bring it to the attention of the referee.
Yeah, I don't think it's a free there, just not enough contact in it.
Niall Morgan able to carry it forward, boot it down towards Matty Donnelly, beautifully transferred very quickly to his brother Richie, and this time it's cut out by Jason Foley. But that Kerry defence is already looking very, very exposed. Shawnee O'Shea will have a key role to play, you would imagine, in this contest. To David Clifford, 2 of the young guns have come through the minor success rate in recent years. Ronan McNamee holding off the challenges, helped out here by McGeary. His brother Hugh Pat had been programmed to start, but he's on the bench instead. Booted away by Conor Myler, and booted out of play as well. Waste of possession.
Yeah, and Kerry will have to get the grips with their kicking as well. A lot of kick passes have gone astray, so it's not a good start so far for this Kerry team.
Myler then raced back to pick up his man, who is Shawnee O'Shea. Big job of work on his part for the afternoon. Tyg Morley, one of the Temple No players. Gavin Crowley, another one. Stephen O'Brien trying to move forward. Very congested middle third of the field at the moment, and Kerry have managed to free Gavin Crowley with possession. Confronted by McKernan, giving it off to O'Shea. Back here to Killian Spillane. Very patient in the approach. Tom O'Sullivan looping it out here as far as Paul Murphy, where he preferred to be out in an attacking role. Mention attackers, that's Stephen O'Brien, caught there. Referee has whistled. It's got to be a free in. Chance to bring it back to a 1-point game once again.
Yeah, and Stephen O'Brien having an excellent season, and his direct running style causes teams an awful lot of trouble. Low centre of gravity, delighted to get that free in there and settle them down a little bit.
Game slowly but surely establishing a bit of a pattern. Sean O'Shea, who's got 1 goal and 32 points so far. 22 points of those were from frees. So looking for another one here, and that's a confident start by him. Both of Kerry's scores have been from frees. 3-2, Tyrone lead.
Yeah, and Conor Myler's picking him up. He's extremely tight on him. He's not letting him get space. He's trying to bottle him up as much as he can.
Tyrone able to go short to Paddy Hampsey. Hampsey's been troubled by injury for most of this season. That's a terrible kick there by Niall Morgan. Straight to Paul Gainey. And Gainey lets fly with accuracy. And all of a sudden the teams are level. Well, that was a bad error on the part of Niall Morgan. He can't afford to be as sloppy as this.
Yeah, for a goalkeeper as experienced as he is, one of the top goalkeepers in the country, but Paul Gainey showed extreme confidence there outside of the boot from 50 yards. What a score.
This time a bit more care. Into the hands of Hampsey once again. I believe a pelvic injury has been affecting him for much of the season so far. That's why he hasn't started too many games. A man who was an all-star at the end of last year. Kieran McGeary, one of the Pomeroy players. Now Hampsey goes forward. Booted very, very long, down towards McShane, fisted out, that time by Foley. Morley was coming to help, under pressure with Matty Donnelly, and the umpire has the arm raised. It's got to be a 45.
Yeah, and it is noticeable that Tyrone have a presence up in that full forward line all the time. Peter Hart is up there being marked by Thomas Sullivan, but certainly plenty of numbers up there and plenty to aim at.
Don't think Hart's been on the ball in the opening 12 minutes of this match. Yeah,
Thomas Sullivan, a noted man marker, but I'm sure he generally is a leading assister and gets in plenty of ball. So Thomas Sullivan doing well so far.
Well, the resultant 45 is going to be taken by Niall Morgan, goalkeeper who's scored some 26 points in the championship so far. Breeze now, from his point of view, is coming from left to right. Chance to put Tyrone back into the lead once again. Kerry fans are saying, come on, hurry it up. He does, and he has put it over the bar. His patience and his timekeeping was well worthwhile.
Yeah, that's what he can do. It's a great kick by Niall Morgan. Redeems himself for the early mistake.
Remember here in a league final some years ago against Dublin, around 2011 or so. I think he got 5 points that afternoon. That's well won by Shawnee O'Shea. Heavily challenged there by Richie Donnelly, the referee. And then immediately after that, the referee is going to have a word. I think it is going to throw the ball up and cancel the free kick that Kerry had been awarded.
Incorrectly, just a little bit of inexperience from Shawnee O'Shea. Tyrone players in his face. He reacted. Richie Donnelly was on top from there and he just pushed him, and definitely good decision by Maurice Deegan, but a very simple decision as well.
Well, there's a little bit of argy-bargy going on off the ball as well, involving Tadhg Morley and Matty Donnelly. And they're still at it, a bit of shouldering. It's beginning to heat up a little bit. Once again, the referee wants possession of the ball so he can throw it up here between David Moran and Colm Cavanagh. Two very experienced performers who've been through it all many, many times. And this time Kerry hold on to it, and it's Brian O'Biagli. Got a goal and a point last week in the final Super 8 game. One back, that time by Michael Cassidy. Tenacious player. Finally getting his opportunity in the championship team this year, Michael Cassidy. Free out to Tyrone.
Yeah, and it's just at the point where both teams are getting a little bit feisty. A little bit of stuff happening off the ball, and just need to control their tempers.
Well, it was very modest up to then. Here's Colm Cavanagh. Down towards Matty Donnelly, being marked by Tadhg Morley. Matty does well. Quick look at the target, takes an extra bit out of it. Didn't fancy kicking it himself. Back to Richie, his brother, and that's wayward. And it's Stephen O'Brien who can play soccer with it here and get it out as far as David Clifford. Collected by Killian Spillane. About to be challenged by Rory Brennan. Played it back to O'Brien again. held on to by David Clifford, a point scorer already from a free, lashes it in brilliantly. He guided it superbly over the bar, and the teams are level again at 4 points apiece.
Yeah, great play by David Clifford, showing great experience. He dropped out deep on that occasion, won the ball, received it back and kicked an excellent point from distance, but just shows how valuable it is to this Kerry team.
Lovely measured kick out that time as far as Michael McKernan. Now Conor Myler. Taken up here by Niall Slodden, I think the first time he's been involved in the match. Looking once again for Cathal McShane. Did well to collect it before the ball hit the end line there. Foley trying to force him back out. Keep tabs on him. Slodden again. Still Slodden. Hooping it up over his left shoulder and over the bar. Now Slodden the scorer. Yeah. Tyrone back in front, 5-4.
And I watched Gavin Crowley be upset. He got pushed to the ground and Niall Slodden ended up on the ball, and a good score by Niall Slodden, but you can see Gavin Crowley protesting to Morris Deegan there, saying he got a push to the back.
Well, it's become a very lively contest at this stage. Now the referee has seen an injury further out the field, so he's got to hold up the play here. Looks to be Richie Donnelly. Or is it? No, it's not. It's Michael McKernan. This is what we think happened here. He was caught by David Clifford. Well, he's back okay. The man who's at college in Jordanstown, Mickey Hart here, his 107th championship match in charge of Tyrone. 73 wins so far, and it's his 35th match in charge of a championship game at Croke Park. Peter Keane, of course, in his first championship season. He's had so much success at minor level, and his first success as a Kerry senior manager was in Killarney back in January when they beat Tyrone in the league. Well, there's such a difference between league and championship, and this is the semi-final of the All-Ireland. And there's little to choose so far between these teams. David Moran looking to try and engineer the next scoring opportunity and bring Kerry level. Clifford couldn't take it. Shonny O'Shea can. Dragged down there by Ronan McNamee. Free quickly taken by Clifford. Too quick altogether, and Richie Donnelly is able to bring it away out of the Tyrone half of the field. Mistakes aplenty, but lots of excitement as well. Look at the amount of space he's been given. There's nobody coming to him. Eventually, David Moran was going across, and that's an awful miss by Richie Donnelly. He must have carried the ball at least 40 metres there.
Yeah, and I think myself defensively, Kerry still have not got the grips of it. They're pushing back in front, trying to cover Cathal McShane. Certainly he was screaming for a long ball in there, but right now defensively they need to get a bit tighter. David Moran has been picked up by Colin Kavanagh. Colin Kavanagh's doing a pretty good job so far.
The industrious Adrian Spillane, but he was in two minds and achieved nothing in the end. He's down just off the side of the field at the moment. Hampsey gets it away out as far as Ronan McNamee, and Tyrone build again. Kieran McGeary back in as far as Cathal McShane, taken by Tyke Morley. Back to Shane Ryan, the goalkeeper. Enright. David Moran giving it to Gainey. Carried forward here by Brian O'Biagli. Waiting inside. Two-man attack. Clifford and Gainey. Carried forward beautifully here as far as Paul Murphy. Murphy trying to stay on his feet. And well blocked down. Brilliantly done that time. Goes back out to Clifford again. This time it's Killian Spillane, and again there was a partial block on that. Good defensive work, and Kerry didn't achieve an awful lot.
Yeah, and that'll be great heart to this Tyrone defence. Two blocks in the same passage of play, probably a good opportunity for Kerry to score, and you can see Frank Burns making great ground again here. Again,
just like we had earlier on there with Richie Donnelly, he was able to carry it a fair old distance. Cathal McShane trying to get away from the attentions there of Jason Foley and float it between the uprights, and he's got a second, and he's proving quite a handful for the 22-year-old from Ballydonahue.
Yeah, and I think the big thing is the presence of two men up there, so Colin McShane is finding a bit of space, and watch Colin Kavanagh here. This is what he does well.
Kerry's defence in a bit of difficulty early on. Kerry's forward line not functioning as one might expect. but that's down to some great defensive play. But this might be a little better for David Clifford, and he snaps that one and puts it away left and wide, and it's a second wide by Kerry.
And a good opportunity for David Clifford. Great ball in there, and you see Paul Ganey, he's a tendency to drop deep, deliver a great pass in, but David Clifford would expect to knock that one over the bar.
Every indication already here that this much vaunted Kerry attack is going to face quite a daunting challenge this afternoon, trying to get the measure of Tyrone's in-depth defence. Colm Cavanagh as far as Rory Brennan, giving it off here as far as Richie Donnelly. Then down goes Peter Hart. Hart was fouled. Into the back came Tom O'Sullivan. Free kick to Tyrone, which Peter Hart is going to take himself. Knocking it back. Again, it's Hampsey. Hart. Conor Myler. McGeary knocking it in there towards Matty Donnelly. The bounce is an awkward one. He goes after it. Tyke Morley goes down, and as he was doing so, he was fouled, and the referee gives the free kick to the Kingdom. David Moran. So much depends on his strength and ability in the middle of the park to dominate this match. Shouldered there by Niall Sludden. Held on to by Brian O'Bagley. Picking it up, Shane Enright, ready to carry it forward. Clifford comes out once again. He's coming out very, very far, out towards the middle of the park quite a number of times in the match so far. Gavin Crowley, all the way over here to Shawnee O'Shea, trying to draw out the Tyrone backline. That's not going to be easy. Tom O'Sullivan looking to try and measure this one. Comes off the post, still in play. Hampsey has it, and the umpire has decided it's gone out. Now, is it wide or is it a 45? It's a 45.
Yeah, initially he waved it wide, but then realised it was a Tyrone player that carried it over the line. So great effort there outside the boot, just went off the post and out for a 45 here. As
this was Hampsey under pressure there from Paul Ganey. Well, the end result is going to be a 45, and the man who will take it will be Shawnee O'Shea. Well, he's been one of the most outstanding players in this year's championship. He uses possession so well, as we know, in general play. Scores impressively. That's Niall Morgan there with Colm Cavanagh back on his goal line. It's 7 minutes since Kerry managed to score last. So can O'Shea get his second point of the match? Comes in nicely. Another beauty landed by Shawnee O'Shea.
Yeah, and it's great to have a player of that talent. 1-8 he scored last week, but to kick a point like that from distance made it look effortless.
That goal was some goal, wasn't the goal he got against Meath in the second half? First ever championship goal for him. From the kick out here, it's again won by Tyrone. Thundering forward is Michael Cassidy, giving it to Sludden. Two men to aim at inside. McShane, one of them. The other is Matty Donnelly. McShane has it, kicks it with ease. He's really enjoying it down there. And in the opening 23 minutes, he's contributed 3 points from open play, and Tyrone are ahead by 2.
Yeah, watch the handoff there. And that handoff allowed him the space then from Adrian Spillane. Gave him the space then to kick an easy point, and great play. And if Tyrone can get enough ball into him, he certainly is the man on form at the minute.
Kerry can't come to terms with the threat he is posing. Tom O'Sullivan. Well, Kerry are slow and deliberate in their build-up, looking to try and increase the pace a little bit more here now. But look at O'Brien trying to go through a maze. 5-6 Tyrone players, and he carried it in there and didn't give it off quickly enough. Some basic errors being committed by Kerry.
And it's fuel for this Tyrone team, running into blind alleys, and they'll gain a lot of confidence from this, and they're doing extremely well in the counter-attack as well, Tyrone.
Once again, it's Cassidy. Took his time to make his mark in the Tyrone first 15, but he's enjoying the season now. Down towards the big man again, McShane, and this time he's on the deck. The referee sees nothing wrong, says play on. Shane Ryan back out as far as David Moran. Looking to try and drive this team forward now. Nobody confronting him. He's going to carry it up onto the 65-metre line. Peter Hart, not much of a challenge on his part. Here's Clifford. They need so much from this man here. The 20-year-old knocks it back as far as Brian Obiagli. Eventually it's kicked there by Paul Gainey and wide of the target. Just not functioning.
Yeah, and Paul Gainey is an experienced player, but you have to say that Tyrone defensively have set up it very well. Kerry, on the other hand, are forcing the issue a little bit, and they've missed a couple of decent opportunities, and they'll be disappointed.
It's interesting, the role of Matty Donnelly here is coming out towards the 65-metre line, leaving McShane on his own inside, and then every so often going in to join him and make it a two-man inside forward line.
Yeah, and as we watch Paul Murphy, he's in the half-back line, he's not marking anybody, he's trying to cover back space, but he just seems to be a little bit lost, and Tyrone are building from defence as he stands in the half-forward line, no one marking him.
The point has been made, and I've said it earlier, that there isn't a great deal of experience in Kerry of playing this system with a sweeper back there, and they just don't look comfortable doing it.
No, certainly not. It's not in there. It's the aristocrats of football certainly struggling to play the sweeper system. It just doesn't look natural for them, and they are struggling at the minute.
That time that ball from Kieran McGeary went astray. Stephen O'Brien, Moran carrying it easily past Colm Kavanagh, looking to try and set it up. There's a good run being made by Adrian Spillane. Ball never reached him. Trying to take it in there, and eventually it's Shawnee O'Shea. Nice dummy, useful looking kick, but it's going to go across the face of goal and ends up being wide number 4.
Yeah, a great bit of individual skill by Shawnee O'Shea. The dummy was magnificent. You're hoping he'd knock it over the bar, but just pulled it, and just need to settle down a little bit of inexperience from these guys.
Myler. Here's Richie Donnelly. Well, it's into open space here. Peter Hart ready to try and advance past Tom O'Sullivan. He's taken it very cleverly. This time the bounce is awkward. Frank Burns has got it for Tyrone. Hart is available once again and blocked down superbly. Nicely done. Enright was the one who got down cleverly that time.
Yeah, Teak Duff defender is Shane Enright. Great block there. But if they get that ball into Colin McShane, it's causing all sorts of trouble.
Seems to me, Desi, that Tyrone are taking better options than Kerry.
Yeah, I think tactically they've set up very well. If the presence in that full forward line, they're causing all sorts of trouble, and a lot easier to create opportunities. McGeary
finally firing that one, and that is just the second wide that Tyrone have had, but they lead, as you can see, after 27.5 minutes. Jason Foley, 2 men to aim at here. Gavin Crowley, now Brian Obiagli. Paul Gainey looking for it inside. Ball is slow coming in. They're not prepared to take a chance and play it in there. The ball's got to be brought back where the referee saw the original foul.
Yeah, and Frank Burns, lazy tackle with Shawnee O'Shea on the pitch. You'd expect Shawnee O'Shea, he's kicked one already from 45, you'd expect him probably knock this over the bar, bring it back to a 1-point game, and soft freeze like this will be the 4th if it goes over, is keeping them in it.
Well, they're looking to try and get the likes of Gainey more into the game. Sean O'Shea with 2 points already from freeze, 1 from a 45, so this is just outside the 45. There's a little breeze into his face. It's curling, but not sufficiently, and it's a missed opportunity, and it stays 7-5 in Tyrone's favour. Neither goalkeeper seriously threatened so far. This is all the way out as far as Colm Kavanagh, giving it to Conor Myler, able to run forward now here with Cassidy in support, and they are largely dominating the exchanges in the opening 29 minutes of this match. Cassidy, Tyrone patient, able to slow it down, frustrate Kerry quite considerably. Burns again seeking out Cathal McShane and finding him. They've got to change the marking arrangement. They've got to stop the ball going in there. Giving it back to Matty Donnelly. It's textbook football by Tyrone. A second for him. This time McShane with the assist. 8-5.
Yeah, but all coming from a kick out from Niall Morgan. No pressure on the kickers. He's allowed to get the ball out as easy as he wants. He went to Colm Cavanagh, worked it down the pitch, and it's all too easy right now for Tyrone. Tactically they're doing very well, but Kerry need to get to grips. The sweeper system of Paul Murphy is breaking down right now.
Whatever breeze there is around today is probably supporting Tyrone in the opening 35 minutes. Kerry have work to do. Tom O'Sullivan got a great goal against Cork. That was in the Munster final. Tadhg Morley. Now Stephen O'Brien. Can he begin to ignite this Kerry attack? Moran. Slow build up, very slow. Not sure how well it works against Tyrone's defence, because everybody from Tyrone is now back within 55 metres of the Tyrone goal. And Kerry have got to try and find the solution to the puzzle. Paul Murphy.
And as it's building here, we're looking at Matty Donnelly and Frank Byrne standing in front of Colm Cavanagh in the full back line, so it's extremely hard, and they're asking the questions of Kerry. Can they break them down?
One man inside, and that is this man here going for the ball there, Paul Gainey. And the referee has given the foul against Paul Gainey as the ball was touched on the ground.
And you've seen Colm Cavanagh's reaction there. Just got caught on the ground there, but the Tyrone players delighted, gaining momentum all the time with these, I suppose you'd say, mistakes from the Kerry team.
Just not working out for Kerry, but only 3 points in it. Paddy Hampsey looking forward to getting back into the All-Ireland final once again in 3 weeks' time, to see if they can do better than last year. Big ask against Dublin, who were so superb yesterday, in particular in the second half. Frank Burns again able to carry the ball forward. Paul Murphy's the nearest to him. He's not quite sure whether he's meant to be coming out or staying back, and the whole thing is rather ineffective. That time it's Adrian Spillane who's back. Got a blow, wins a free. The hand of McShane made contact with him in the end there, after McKernan had dragged him around. So Kerry need to go to work again and try to unlock this Tyrone defence. It's Killian Spillane now. A little bit of pace maybe. Maybe that's the answer to some of their problems so far. Shawnee O'Shea. As they hold, Tyrone get more and more men back. Back as far as Stephen O'Brien. Pursued vigorously by Conor Myler. Chance now to break open here with Paul Murphy having a go, and that one has again managed to go left and wide. Very frustrating afternoon for the Kerry management and fans so far.
Absolutely. Kerry have 5 scores from 12 attacks now. Tyrone have 7 scores from 8 attacks, 88% accuracy, and that tells the story of the half. Really, if they can get more ball into Cathal McShane. Jason Foley at times is doing well, but you'd have to say when the ball goes in well, Cathal McShane is getting on it and causing all sorts of trouble, but tactically as well is the concern.
When people were trying to sum up this game in terms of who they think is likely to win it, people were saying, well, we know what Tyrone are at because we saw them last year, we've seen them over the last number of years, but a new manager here in charge of Kerry. And I suppose the question being asked, Desi, are they quite at that level just yet? They were here for the league final, they won the Munster Championship, all well and good, but now we're really at the business end of this championship.
Absolutely. Tommy Griffin came in with Peter Keane came in with a plan. I see Tommy Griffin running around the pitch all over the place, telling his players to change it around. You would have to say they do look a little bit inexperienced. Maybe it's a year or two early. Tyrone are a very experienced team tactically, to know what they're doing, and right now they're swallowing up the Kerry attack.
Morgan to kick this one. Kerry fans unhappy. touched down by Adrian Spillane, but it is once again Tyrone who grouped together so brilliantly and exposed the spaces. Look at Cassidy go, look at the support players alongside him. It's Slodden kicking with his right and up and over the bar. They're working as a unit, they're moving as a team, they're showing their experience. They are very brisk in everything that they do and decisive in front of goal, and they lead 9-5.
Yeah, all coming from that breaking ball as well in midfield. Colin Campbell came out, long ball by Niall Morgan, but you'd have to say as well that they're dominating the kickouts. Niall Morgan is getting them away, Tyrone are getting a lot of possession.
2 minutes of additional time about to be played. The sideline official there is Barry Tiernan from Dublin.
Yeah, and I see Michael Cassidy. You can see them here in David Moran's face. Coming into this game, a lot of talk about David Moran, what he's going to do. But you see what Tyrone, they're blotting him out of this game, trying to keep him as quiet as possible, because if he plays well, Kerry play well.
This is carried forward here by Tom O'Sullivan. Back to Tyke Morley. Gavin Crowley now has time and space in which to carry the ball forward up to a certain point. Michael McKernan standing in front of him. A change, and Killian Spillane breaking through, trying to get forward. His brother Adrian's there. Adrian's up to within about 15 metres of the Tyrone goal, and then the challenge came in, brilliantly dispossessed, and the ball is away smartly out into the hands of Kieran McGeary. Matty Donnelly. McGeary again. Now they just hold it and wait patiently and give themselves a breather. You can see they've been through it all before, this Tyrone side. They have that ability to game manage.
I think it's Kerry, Peter Keane will be anxious to get his players in, have a word with them, talk to them, because right now they're struggling to deal tactically. They're all over the place, and it's a big concern right now for him. You see Tyrone are very comfortable with their game plan.
Of their 5 points so far, I think Kerry have only scored some 2 points from open play.
Yeah, and a 36% accuracy from shooting as well, so it's a big concern. Goalkeeping is soon. Niall Morgan is getting the kick-outs away, so you can see Mickey Hart will be delighted the way his team are performing in this first half.
And now just wanting to see out the opening 35-37 minutes, and down went Peter Hart, and as he did so, Tom O'Sullivan just rushed into the back of him, again conceding the free kick.
Yeah,
Hart has to be very disciplined, of course. He's one of those players who comes into this match with 2 black cards in recent games. He had 3 black cards in all.
Yeah.
One of them was rescinded, one against Longford, but another one today, and he might miss out on the final should they get there.
Yeah, wouldn't that be frustrating, missing out on an All-Ireland final over the black cards?
Kerry had their problems as well, I believe. Gavin White, who didn't start today, he's also on 2, and Stephen O'Brien, I think, is on 2 also. So if Kerry get there, they have to make sure that they stay out of black card trouble.
Yeah, and Tom O'Sullivan, you would have to say, is keeping Peter Hart relatively quiet in this half, and you would imagine that as that time goes on, Peter Hart will find that bit more freedom.
It's now some 15 minutes since Kerry last scored, and that was a 45 by Shawnee O'Shea. Not going well at all. Only 5 points on the board. The only thing from their point of view is that there are just 4 between them. But the outstanding team in the first half has certainly been Mickey Hart's Tyrone, bidding to get back to the All-Ireland final for the 2nd year in a row. Peter Keane and the management go into conclave because they need to try and come to terms with what's happening in front of them down there. At the break, it's Tyrone are ahead. Tyrone 9 points, Kerry 5. We'll have some analysis right after this.
You know, Jackie, this is one of my favourite times of the year.
Me too, Des, and now I have Up for the Match to look forward to as well.
You'll love it. We'll have great hurling stars, surprise guests, wonderful music.
And a studio audience full of Tip and Kilkenny fans who are really excited and ready to have the crack.
Yeah, so it'll be great fun. Make sure you join us as we look ahead to one of the biggest sporting days of the year.
It's the All-Ireland Hurling Final.
Up for the Match, Saturday at 9:35 on RTE1.
Do you have a shirt that you really love? one that you feel so groovy in. I love my shirt, I love my shirt. My shirt is so comfortable.
Wouldn't it be great if your footy shirt looked less like a billboard? That's why Paddy Power have launched Save Our Shirt, where every team we sponsor, we're unsponsoring, and they won't have our logo on them at all. Paddy Power, Save Our Shirt.
You may remember he was unfairly heckled last week.
What is it about where you're from that can silence the doubters who say you're finished? That drives you on when you're carrying the hopes of so many, and gives you the courage to be true to yourself.
That little girl in me didn't need to hide her differences anymore.
It can even bring you back when you're told you won't make the championship.
Crucian and training in February. Turner Brogan is in for the first time since last year's All-Ireland final.
Or see another year, never mind a season.
After the operation, I was bedbound up getting chemotherapy.
The hair started to fall out. Brilliant to get back out.
Where you're from is everything. Super Value, proud sponsors of Where You're From.
Bin your gun when you're done and avoid a €150 fine.
Where are you going on this day of days? Same place as all your yesterdays? Were you gonna raise your game and set your eyes on a prize that no money can buy? Look ahead to that one day, that battlefield in the sun when thousands become one, and you draw on everything you've learned for gold that can only be earned one way, the hard way. That one day, that's where I'm going.
Know what it takes to play sport's toughest game?
Let's do this!
First, battle to become best player of the club. Pump up. And fuel up.
Protein boost.
Then, beat every club rival to make the county panel.
You made county!
And that's just the beginning. The challenges keep coming. Never miss training. Dodge hard questions. All for one shot at glory.
Final kick.
AIB, backing club and county.
It's for women.ie. Great value car insurance for those on the go. Time is a gift. When it's gone, it's gone. Don't leave your life on hold. It's time to own it.
Super Value, where you're from is everything.
Well, I did mention before the game that perhaps 60,000 were expected here for this second All-Ireland semi-final. It's just under 34,000, so that's very disappointing. And they've missed a brilliant performance from Tyrone in the first half as well that has them leading Kerry by 9 points to 4. As you can see there, Colin McShane doing most of the damage in front of goal for Tyrone. And that was the big question we asked. How many men would play up front? How would Kerry approach it? And we saw...
Well, Joanne, Tyrone came with a brilliant tactical plan. We know their defensive plan. They set up defensively and Kerry can't counteract their defensive. But I highlighted their attacking plan this year, their kicking game and the use of their two-man full forward line, in particular Colin McShane for the outlet ball. They've got the full forward line here, have got 5 points in play. And I've just highlighted, look at the movement from McShane. A lesson to any youngster. He's giving Jason Foley a ton of time. Now, I have sympathy for the Kerry full back line because, as you can see here, look at the amount of space that's available to McShane and Matty Donnelly. Kerry are trying to play a sweeper system with Paul Murphy, but Paul Murphy is at sea. Look at this, a very direct kick, and 2 shots later, it's up for a point. But again, I want to highlight their kicking game, the two-man full forward line inside. And watch Matty and Carl, they're pointing where they want the ball. And it's a beautiful diagonal ball in front of the forward, just what the forward wants. And a lovely score from McShane. And again, the same thing, watch the space, the quick ball in. He's a wonderful target man and a great finisher. And watch the understanding out of Matty Donnelly, lovely point. So, look, Kerry, a lovely kicking game, a two-man full forward line, a tactical plan that's defensively well organised, a tactical plan that has a two-man full forward line that are kicking the ball first time into the two-man full forward line, and they've given a masterclass in tactics in the first half and by far the dominant team.
Pat said at the start of that we all know what way they were going to set up defensively. So why is it that Kerry don't look like they have this plan to get inside all those numbers in the defence?
You're talking about the defence, the Kerry defensive side?
No, I'm talking about Tyrone are defending the way we expected. Loads of numbers back. Why is it that Kerry can't seem to penetrate it?
Well, first up, a lot of good decision making required when you're coming up against this Tyrone defence, and that hasn't been a feature of the Kerry attack in the first half. I mean, if you just look at the numbers, the raw numbers, 14 shots, 5 scores, like 36% in terms of accuracy. That's not good enough at this level of it. And it should be no surprise. Like, trying to carry the ball through here is just madness. That will not happen. They feed off it, Joanne. That's the big thing. When you get that big turnover, you see Kavanagh and a few more of them screaming at their mates, come on, we can do this, because they get huge energy out of it. Now, throw in the fact that Kerry have kicked 6 wides, a bit snatchy. They're not as comfortable as they like to be because they're not getting the time and space. Now, it should have come as no surprise. The width isn't there for them. They're not transferring the ball fast enough from one side to the other and trying to get the openings.
So how do they do that? How do they create the width? Do they need men running into the spaces there in the wings?
Absolutely. Out to the sidelines, rotate very quickly through the hands, and then come in at angles, okay? And strong running angles, not just I'm kind of going to have a cut. You have to commit to the angle and the cut and see, can you draw free, or can you break the line or the tackle if you like.
Okay, so we see that Tyrone are clearly on top, and you notice a few things during that first half, a few own failings where they tend to shoot themselves in the foot of the fans.
Yeah, well, like this could be a lot worse for Kerry, to be honest, because out of the first 3 scores that Kerry got, they were all sort of that self-inflicted, unnecessary. They had numbers back, that they had an extra defender in that case. Again, you have Stephen O'Brien going to come into picture here, and just Kieran McGeary just lazy. Look at Matty Donnelly there, Colin Kavanagh ready to come over, and then Niall Morgan plays it. They have the ball, they're going to come out back, and then just tries this sort of, I wouldn't say, speculative. There was a free man, but just the skill execution just wasn't there. And that was the first. They're the first 3 scores for Kerry. Again, loose pass here from Richie Donnelly, and in a second or two, then you're going to have David Clifford coming around here on the loop, and a good shot. And that's, we've highlighted 3-4 scores for Kerry whereby Tyrone have just handed them, and they could have. Not quite out the gap here, but they could have.
Stephen, and they've only got 5.
And they've only,
I think it's very simple stats, sum up the game, and we could waffle all day about it, but Tyrone had 12 shots at goal and they scored 9 times. That's a 75% return. Kerry had 14 shots at goal and they scored 5 times. And it's to do really with the build-up. Their build-up play is slow. They're taking the ball into the tackle. They're kicking under pressure. They're not asking questions of the Tyrone defence. They're not playing with wit, and they're not, like I said, the support runners haven't come in from deep at pace.
I think it's only 50% of the story, though, because we've highlighted that maybe Paul Murphy has found himself out of position at time to time. But there's no intensity in Kerry in the middle third.
No.
The ball, it's lovely angled ball. It's been played in front of Colin McShane. We need in a Kerry sense to see who's going to be putting the pressure in the middle of the field and not making that as nice a pass.
Okay, lots of adjustments needed for Kerry, it would appear, in the second half. All going well for Tyrone at the moment, though. We'll be back with the second half shortly. First, though, here's another chance for you to win with our competition.
We've teamed up with Aer Lingus, Ireland's only 4-star airline, now flying to 14 North America destinations, to give you the chance to win a 5-night holiday to New York. I'm here in Daly Park, New York. Let's take a look around the Big Apple. Cool. First stop, Central Park. Giddy up. Sometimes you even forget you're in New York, but then you might even meet some GA fans. You and a friend will be treated to a 5-night stay in Fitzpatrick's Hotel in Manhattan, close to all the attractions. Take in Times Square and meet the locals.
I'm the cowboy with Marty Morrissey.
Yeah, you'll need some dollars to do some shopping. So for your chance to win a 5-night holiday to New York at $5,000 spending money, just answer this. Which of these is a much-loved shopping district in New York? Bond Street, Grafton Street, or Fifth Avenue? To enter, call 15 17 71 71 82 or text the word GAME, followed by your answer and name to 57001. Calls from the Air network will cost €2.03. Calls from other networks may be higher. You must be over 18 to enter. Lines will close at midday on Monday, September 16th. Full details are on rt.ie/competitions, and the lucky winner will also be revealed.
They travel from all four corners. A journey of thousands who become one.
The Live Camogie semi-finals, Saturday from 5 on RTE2.
What is it about where you're from that can silence the doubters and gives you the courage to be true to yourself?
That little girl in me didn't need to hide her differences anymore.
It can even bring you back when the odds are stacked against you.
Get the chemotherapy.
The hair started falling out. Brilliant to get back out there.
Where you're from is everything. Super Value, proud sponsors of Where You're From.
Know what it takes to play sport's toughest game?
Let's do this.
First, battle to become best player of the club. Pump up. And fuel up.
Protein boost.
Then, beat every club rival to make the county panel.
You made county.
And that's just the beginning. The challenges keep coming. Never miss training. Dodge hard questions. All for one shot at glory.
Final kick.
AIB, backing club and county.
Quiet, please, ladies and gentlemen. Quiet, please.
Voltarol has a triple effect. It targets the pain, has a powerful anti-inflammatory ingredient, and helps speed up recovery. Voltarol, the joy of movement.
Where are you going on this day of days? Same place as all your yesterdays? Were you gonna raise your game and set your eyes on a prize that no money can buy? Look ahead to that one day, that battlefield in the sun when thousands become one, and you draw on everything you've learned for gold that can only be earned one way, the hard way. That one day, that's where I'm going.
Here's the All-Ireland semi-final start of the half. From Sure, official statistics partner of the GAA.
Teach you all you need to know about yourself. The Electric Ireland GAA Minor Championships. This is major.
The Kerry players are back out on the pitch here at Croke Park. Mind you, the last time Tyrone were here against Cork, they left the Cork footballers out for 7 minutes before the second half started. The question is about what Kerry might change in the second half in order to get back into this match. And are we given an indication by the fact that Gavin White is coming on at half-time and so is Jack Sherwood?
Yeah, well, you've got two natural defenders in that. Jack Sherwood would have played a lot of the league, probably around centre-back, maybe into full-back at times. Gavin White, when they played Mayo, and it's probably the last time that they've showed a level of intensity that they need to now replicate in the second half. So he's definitely going to ask more questions, Gavin White, coming from the half-back line than what they have, because I do think that's part of where Kerry's answer to taking out the Tyrone wall is. They have to send in some of these surplus guys that are hanging outside the 45, 55 metres. They have to go in and they got to try and occupy the Frank Burns guys.
By saying that, are you suggesting that some of the players kind of just Kerry players are just hanging around there and not actually making any impact?
Yeah, when Tyrone have slowed you up and you've had to recycle out the ball, right? So they're getting maybe Cullum Kavanagh will be in there, but they're nearly putting a pillar each side of them, all right? And there's no space then for Paul Gainey.
Somebody has to cut aggressively.
You look at when they nearly taxi the player and bring him back out and create more one-on-ones inside.
You look at the way Cork took that Tyrone defence, they dismantled it in the first half. And they dismantled by strong running, but particularly runners coming late and from deep, for example, when James Lockery got the goal. And in terms of Kerry aren't asking those questions. There's no one coming off the shoulder at pace. They're not getting players into that pocket of space. They're not getting their shooters in the shooting zone. But like, it goes back, you can change personnel, you can change tactics, and they're all very valuable. But at the end of the day, as the lad said earlier on, Kerry need to bring more intensity, more energy, more tempo.
They're off the pace of an All-Ireland semi-final.
They are, yes.
They're well off the pace of an All-Ireland.
You could argue Dublin were yesterday as well. Now, they obviously have more experience, those players, with being at this. But are Kerry capable of then coming out and changing things around like that?
Well, on the evidence, the first half, no, but obviously they're going to have had words. They made 2 personnel changes, and we have to wait and see now. Are they going to take it to Tyrone?
Change of attitude.
They better do it pretty quickly, or the game will be gone from them. Because 9-5 in the context of this particular game is a decent lead.
Yeah, it's nearly double scores. 9-5 Tyrone, and that man in front. Could it be a repeat of last year's All-Ireland final again on the 1st of September? Still 35 minutes to go as we head back to Desi and Ger.
Thanks, Joanne. We think that Shane Enright and Adrian Spillane are the 2 players who've made way to bring in Gavin White, who was due to captain the team today, and Jack Sherwood. Start of the second half, 4 points the margin. Kerry have it all to do. Tyrone looking to consolidate what they've got. Straight away put under a little bit of pressure here, but it's Hampsey back collecting. And Ronan McNamee in his typical fluent style getting that ball out as far as Conor Myler. Kieran McGeary put under a little bit of pressure there by Jack Sherwood. Interesting to see where Jack plays. He's played full back and he's played centre back in the league campaign. Sludden fouled.
Yeah, Kerry trying to put that bit extra pressure on around the midfield area, because in the first half they were just drifting up the pitch with no pressure.
Free hit in by Richie Donnelly in as far as Cathal McShane. It's been the star of the opening 35 minutes. Maddie Donnelly, the team captain, holds it up. Patience shown by him, and a couple of players wrestling one another on the ground, as you can see here.
Yeah,
Paul Gainey involved, and also Niall Sludden.
Yeah, 2 boys had each other by the throats there on the ground, and the easy decision for the referee, probably book both players.
These were the first yellow cards of the match.
Yeah, just lying at each other. There's nothing happening really, like, so.
So cards about to be issued to Sludden and to Gainey. Niall Sludden, of course, scored a goal and 2 points in his last semi-final here 12 months ago against Monaghan. Referee wants a word. Referee who's handled 3 All-Ireland finals in his time. And you can see Sludden is absolutely vexed by that, feeling he was the one who was least guilty.
Yeah, now it's a throw up now as well, so a bit of frustration with Tyrone players, but just have to get on with it.
And on with it they get. And Colm Kavanagh tries to get it there as far as Richie Donnelly, but away come Kerry and David Moran. Jack Sherwood now, and the Kerry following, raising the decibel level a bit. Gainey trying to go through past Rory Brennan. The referee blows his whistle and signals that it's going to be free in for Kerry.
Yeah, my initial impression was probably a bit soft.
Very little in it, wasn't
yeah,
it?
Yeah, not a whole pile. You can see the Tyrone players asking the question. And Paul Gainey's probably lucky there to keep the free as well when he got up.
He was trying to go through a wall of players there, but I mean, the players just stood their ground.
Absolutely. It looked like he's going to lose possession, so Maurice Egan's given a very soft free in there to the Kerry team.
Well, it'll mean that it will be a 3-point game in just a moment. O'Shea has got a point from a free and a point from a 45. So now it becomes 9-6, opening point of the second half. And Kerry will take anything that is going.
Yeah, and I think really the kick-out is a big thing, and you can see again very easily Niall Morgan is getting kick-outs away, and this is leading to Tyrone getting up the pitch, creating opportunities, and it needs to be addressed.
He's done this time and again in this match. Conor Myler, whose dad was a very fine Tyrone player in his playing days, Shawnee Myler. Here's Peter Hart looking to exert a bigger influence on the contest. Back to Kieran McGeary. They go long inside towards Matty Donnelly. 3 men around him. Still shows very good presence. Back to Sludden. It's fluent, it's decisive, but it's inaccurate as well. Should have scored.
Yeah, great ball in there, and the kick pass has been a feature of this Tyrone team with the 2 boys inside. Great options in there, and another ball won in front by Matty Donnelly.
Gavin Crowley, the receiver from the kick-out. Tyg Morley, who'll be hoping that there'll be more pressure on the opposing full back line during the second half of this match. Sherwood, great ball, brilliant ball out as far as Paul Murphy. Nobody on him. He can carry it 30 metres. Nearest man coming out to him is Colm Kavanagh, all the way into O'Shea. Right on the end line, cutting it back as far as Paul Gainey. And that is a very bright start to the second half, and exactly what Kerry and the game required.
Great patience there by the Kerry team. You can see Sean O'Shea into Paul Gainey, and that's a routine finish for a man of his calibre, but you see the attack is starting to function all of a sudden, and that's what they can do when they get playing.
Now questions being asked of Tyrone. Kavanagh down here, and Jason Foley misjudges that, which is lethal against Cathal McShane. Raiding, cracking it in, and he's put it wide.
He's come back for the free.
He's got to bring it back, you're right.
He's probably lucky he got a good advantage there when he missed the opportunity, and Mark Segan is bringing it back. But
I was thinking more in terms of he's going to smack it into the back of the net.
Yeah, Jason Foley was at sea. He's the physical presence, and I see David Moran coming in there, but it was a great opportunity for a goal.
Yeah, it was. There was a foul, no question about it. So an opportunity for Tyrone to restore their advantage again here and put 3 between them.
Yeah, I just wonder, should Peter Keane consider a change? Jason Foley, at times he's won a couple of balls, but you have to say Cathal McShane, if there's any decent ball going into him at all, he's out in front.
Well, he's got a big height advantage as well, Cathal McShane, standing 6'2". This is how it all developed here, and the referee, I think, blew at an early stage there. Jason Foley then allowed him to continue. There was another foul after that, but that was immaterial. McShane. And they've got goals against Longford and Cork. Looking to get another one here, make it 4 for the day, and that is a point from a free, and that's the first free really that Tyrone have converted in this match. They got a 45 earlier on. Doesn't matter how they come from their point of view, they're ahead 10-7. Tom O'Sullivan. Murphy. Will his role be changed during the second half? David Moran. All the way over as far as Gavin White. Taking it back. Sullivan again. Drilling it in long, too long, but there was a holding violation inside there. And the player being invited is Conor Myler. It looked like it was just going in over the head of Shawnee O'Shea.
Yeah, great ball in there, and Shawnee O'Shea, for a young guy using his experience to work a free there. Conor Myler was trying to a little bit of contact, and he went down very easily, and a bit of frustration there with Conor Myler.
Richie Donnelly just telling him to back away. Another opportunity to put just 2 points between the teams. Once again, it's Shawnee O'Shea. That's point number 4. 3 frees and a 45. Looking a tiny bit better from Peter Keane's point of view.
And we talked about intensity at half-time, and certainly there's been an improvement in the Kerry team in that regard.
That is a kick-out which is gathered in by David Moran, virtually unchallenged. Paul Murphy still in that free role. Sherwood now to try and make his presence felt. Out as far as Stephen O'Brien. Looking to see a little bit of dash from him, which was absent in the opening 35. Leaves it short. McGeary instead. Linking up here with Richie Donnelly. Out to Colm Kavanagh, now 32 years of age. Man has been part of the Tyrone scene since 2008. Dragged down, free kick. Frank Burns thinking about taking it. Waiting for everybody to move into positions where he might just be able to retain the possession.
Yeah, and as we said, Paul Murphy still is operating now that sweeper system that we talked about in the first half. And see a free in here now, Matty Donnelly and Tyke Morley, and off the ball, a very simple one from Marcy. He's picking up on this. There's a bit of contact between the two players, and Marcy was right on it, gave a straightforward free in.
Very silly from a Kerry point of view to concede. They'll be back 3 points adrift once again, you would imagine. Once more it is going to be Cathal McShane who will take it. And you consider the move that Mickey Hart made to switch him into the inside forward line, and how devastating it has been from a Tyrone point of view. It's rebooted their championship challenge in a very noticeable way. Up into the air, between the uprights, he's got 5. Last 2 have been frees, and once again Tyrone lead by 3.
Yeah, we talk about confidence, and he's a player that looks, when he stands over a free, it's routine for him. 3 goals and 43 points coming to the game, but he's doing extremely well in dead balls and from play.
Tyrone attacking the Kerry kick out. Free kick is going to be to the Kingdom, however. Gavin White in as far as Shawnee O'Shea. Retained here by David Clifford. O'Sullivan thinking about playing it in, challenged there by Frank Burns, supported here by Jack Sherwood. Then Clifford again. Spillane as far as Stephen O'Brien has to go after it there, and again they do well to win a free kick there. It looked like it was going nowhere.
You can see it. Myler puts the hand in, or McGarry puts the hand in, and again, to be very frustrated. Mickey Hart will be very frustrated with that.
But it looked like he was about to carry it into that mass defence once more. Didn't look to be a great deal on there. Stephen O'Neill, part of the backroom team with Mickey Hart. A lot of repetition so far. We've seen Shawnee O'Shea try to narrow the gap. We've seen Cathal McShane at the other end stretch it each time. All of them from frees. From just outside the D, it's another. So Shawnee O'Shea, Cathal McShane, both on 5 points for the day. And once again, Peter Keane's team 2 points adrift. 2 against 1, and the 1 has won it here brilliantly. Richie Donnelly. That is magnificent. To a 2-man inside forward line. They've been spelling danger to that Kerry defence all throughout the afternoon, and Kerry having difficulty even getting the ball away, handling it on the ground that time. An elementary mistake. But what about this for a piece of fielding? Superb.
And Richie Donnelly's done extremely well. He's introduced today late and has done extremely well out the pitch, working extremely hard. But what a catch there, and you could see it. Jason Foley initially didn't hold on to it, and Gavin Crowley gave away a very soft free, and all these soft frees is making a very routine opportunity for Colin McShane again, because as I said, his free taking ability, it doesn't look like he's going to miss.
They're all the frees are from the same position, and it suits him ideally, being a right-footed kicker. This will be 3 in a row for him. Now, can he put another one on the board? Gently guided it in that time, and he has missed.
Yeah.
Pressure. Shane Ryan kicking it out, this time gathered in by Gavin Crowley. Needs Tyke Morley. Ryan coming under pressure here. Does well to escape the clutches of the 2-man inside forward line. McShane and Donnelly and Kerry are able to bring it forward through Tom O'Sullivan. And out to the wing to Paul Murphy. Man who played in the half-forward line not all that terribly long ago in championship football, a couple of seasons back. David Clifford. Murphy again. David Moran now. They need the next score. Looking to try and make it a 1-point game, and they give the ball away, and it's turned over. And it's Colm Kavanagh. And again, the referee has seen something off the ball.
It's Matty Donnelly and Tyke Morley again.
He must have eyes at the back of his head, or else there's very good link-up play between the linesman and the referee.
Yeah, he's gone free the other way. This time he's after penalising Matty Donnelly, so the 2 players are a lot of contact between the 2 guys.
David Moran out to Murphy again. Shawnee O'Shea looking to try and work their way through this now. Clifford on a ground where he scored 4-4 in a minor final a couple of years back. In to Stephen O'Brien. Back once again to the cornerback. Well, notional cornerback, Tom O'Sullivan. Tyke Morley. Foul on him led to this piece of attacking play by Kerry. Stephen O'Brien. Again going around the edges, looking to see is there any way through. They've got to be very, very patient. But being patient is one thing. Trying to crack a point at the end of it all, that's the object of the exercise. And they have managed to do it brilliantly. And it's the man who came on at half-time, Jack Sherwood, who's got it. His first ever championship point. He's made it 11-10.
A lot of players backed by Tyrone, and Jack Sherwood, since he's been introduced, has made a good impression on the game, and that's a great shot from outside of his boot, but great patient play by this Kerry team.
Now it becomes a very, very intriguing contest, and that is a superb piece of fielding by Colin Kavanagh. And he wanted the Kerry man out of the way pretty quickly. I think it was Paul Gainey. Free to be taken by Peter Hart. Now who's going to get the next score? All the way up to McShane, was given too much room. And that is on the outside of the outside of the post, I think. He's missed it. Again, that was a pretty routine opportunity for him. Missing the free, missing that one. They should be further ahead. And here comes number 21, and that's Tommy Walsh coming in.
Yeah, if you remember Tommy Walsh, he surely goes straight into the full forward line. Throughout the league, he was very commanding, winning a lot of ball, a lot of marks. Haven't seen much of him in the championship, but back to Cathal McShane. In the first half, he wasn't missing them opportunities. Anything that went in, he was doing extremely well.
What about the change, however? They're bringing off number 2, Jason Foley. Now, Tommy Walsh is certainly not a cornerback. His dad, Sean, was able to play everywhere. He was a super sub in the great days. And he's still not off the field, by the way. I don't think he's necessarily... Now he's seen the number 2. So what changes are they going to make? It's got to be Gavin Crowley going back to pick up Cathal McShane. That's one thing we've noticed. Who else?
You see Paul Murphy's on Peter Hart there.
Bagley has gone on to Matty Donnelly. And coming on very, very shortly will be number 21, the leading scorer for them last year, Conor McAlliskey. Tyrone come again. Only 1 point ahead now, where there were 4 ahead at half-time. Richie Donnelly. Peter Hart wanted it. Donnelly decided, no, you move away from me and we'll try and create something. Now here is Peter Hart. Frank Burns running straight into the challenge. Peter Hart again. Can they open up this Kerry defence? Not if Tyke Morley has his way. Jersey was pulled. Referee allowed play to continue because David Moran has his hands on the ball, and now Kerry seek to bring it downfield and create something. Set up a little bit of menace maybe in the Tyrone half. Gavin White down as far as Spillane. That's Killian Spillane. His brother Adrian went off at half-time. David Moran looking to kick ambitiously. It's very ambitious. It's wide as well. It's a 7th wide.
Yeah, and composure. All that came from a great interception by Tyke Morley. He's gone in on Cathal McShane. Ran up the pitch. David Moran needs to be more composed. Tommy Walsh, you can see what he can bring to it already, winning the ball if they get it into him. And a very frustrated Niall Sludden going off the pitch.
Replaced by Conor McAlliskey. And Conor McAlliskey is quite a sub to be able to bring on in his 40th championship match. Big, huge delivery. Murphy under pressure. And it runs on very neatly indeed for Michael Cassidy. Cassidy trying to play it in, and the referee is going to bring the play, or is he? He's going to allow it. He's allowed the advantage, and a very good score results. Nicely done by the man who's only just in a few moments.
And it looked like Michael Cassidy overplayed the ball as he came in there. You can see it. The hand pass, I'm not sure if he's legal, but he got away with it, and outside of the boot, Conor McAlliskey, great score.
Gavin White into the hands of Paul Gady. Killian Spillane taking on Frank Burns. Taken back by Shawnee O'Shea. Now they try to open up this defence a little bit more, and David Moran's on hand. Missed one a moment ago, not this time. Nicely done, and it's once again a 1-point game. Tyrone just shading it.
Great ball in there with Shawnee O'Shea, and you see Tommy Walsh, second ball to win out in front. He's added something different dimension, and if they can get ball into him, certainly right now he's a great option.
And they have a 3-man inside forward line, so forcing Tyrone to kick long, and that they do into the hands of Kieran McGeary. Fouled. Back to Cassidy. Every attack now producing something special. Rory Brennan. Donnelly again. Two Donnelly brothers certainly excelling in this match. Gavin Crowley trying to force him back out, but Matty Donnelly is a wily performer, made space for himself. He looks at the referee, thought he was going to get a free, belated free there, but nothing coming, Matty.
Yeah, looking for a soft free there, and that was a great opportunity from play to knock it over the bar, and all of a sudden Tyrone are starting to struggle to score from play.
15 minutes to go. Paul Murphy, his team one behind. Peter Hart comes in. Jack Sherwood. Kerry's substitutes making an impact. The referee bringing the play back for the earlier foul by Hart. Tom O'Sullivan taking it into Tommy Walsh. Man who won an All-Ireland medal back here in 2009 and then went to Australia, and that one is cracked over the bar, and Clifford is bouncing around there. His third point levels up the match, and the teams are level for the fourth time. 12 apiece.
Yeah, what about Tommy Walsh there, winning the ball again, but knew not to shoot under pressure. Gave it to Clifford, the man that can kick from any angle, and that's a brilliant score.
Ronan McNamee carries it forward for Tyrone. Conor Myler. Kerry looking a bit more secure at the back at this stage. Tyrone looking to go again. McGeary got back past Clifford. Played it poorly. Gave it away. Stephen O'Brien back working hard. Out to David Moran. 12 apiece. Who's going to get the next score? In as far as Paul Gainey. Out to him goes Michael Cassidy. Gainey cutting back onto his left. Playing it in here to Stephen O'Brien. He scores! Stephen O'Brien's goal after 56 minutes. 112 to 12 points. A quick breakaway, a decisive finish, his fourth ever championship goal.
Yeah, McGeary gave the ball away all that way. Stephen O'Brien kicked it and picked it up, ran the length of the pitch, and at the end of the move, but what vision by Paul Gainey into Stephen O'Brien, but the work rate and intensity has improved so much from this Kerry team.
And once again they win it. Paul Murphy, as far as David Moran, fans cheering. Into Gainey, runs on to Clifford instead. Onto his left-hand side, looking to lay it off to a colleague. Tom O'Sullivan up in support. Back out to the goal scorer again, Stephen O'Brien. You ignore him at your peril. And a goal and a point by the man from Kenmare. The 28-year-old has turned the game around, it would appear. They were behind by 4. They're now leading by 4.
Yeah, what a season he's having for this Kerry team. You would have to say one of the most influential players in that forward line, but he's coming alive in the last couple of minutes. But where are Tyrone? Where is the great play that we've seen in the first half? The long balls in that were working so well to Colin McShane. It's all stopped.
Dara Moynihan is on. Scored 2 points against Tyrone in the league match back in January. And coming on as well there, number 23, the familiar figure of Tiernan McCann. Off goes Kieran McGeary. It was all going so well for Tyrone. Almost too easy at times. Now the challenge is a huge one for them. And McCann is already making an impact, carrying that ball cleverly forward. Richie Donnelly. Booted in there by Michael McKernan. Teasing ball in, and a little block on it there as Frank Burns was about to hit it. Hugely important. Great work by Brian Obiagli, and it's out for a 45.
Yeah, long ball in there, and you're still seeing it trying to get into Colin McShane. You see him the goal here. Great pass by Paul Gainey. Took out 3 or 4 players, but what a finish.
He stuck it away confidently, no doubt.
And there's a row down here as well. David Clifford, Michael McKiernan, and Niall Morgan's out there. He just needs to be out there.
Yeah, hotting up quite considerably, and the referee is going to call across a couple of players. Tommy Walsh is one of them. Former St Kilda player in the AFL.
Yeah, this is the Kerry team slowing it down, take the book, and
yellow card for him. Well, he's making a difference since he came in, Tommy. An important kick coming up now for Niall Morgan. Tense for Tyrone fans, tense for everybody around here. As you can see, we're about 11 minutes from the end. This to put just that goal between them. Perfectly done. 2 45s converted by Niall Morgan for Tyrone, and the Ulster men are still very much alive.
Yeah, very important score. He talks about pressure, but Niall Morgan took that score excellently.
Shane Ryan now in two minds, it would appear. He was in difficulty at times in the opening half of the match against Meath last Sunday. Opts to go long towards Sean O'Shea, over the head of O'Shea and Conor Myler. Won back once again by Richie Donnelly and Tyrone. Paul Murphy's after him. It's still Richie Donnelly holding it well. McAlliskey as far as Matty Donnelly. Both sides now will try to maximise possession and try and make absolutely sure that the shots are the right shots to take. And it's with the danger man, and this is really dangerous, and that should have been put away by Peter Hart, but saved by Shane Ryan, who goes down after he'd been set up by Cathal McShane. And the referee will have a word. Rory Brennan, the one coming across here to face the wrath. But that was an excellent goal opportunity, and you would have felt that Peter Hart should have been able to fist it in past Shane Ryan after the good work was done by Cathal McShane. Yellow card for Brennan.
Yeah, Cathal McShane came in on the end line, laid into Peter Hart. The goal was gaping. All he needed was good contact. Absolutely, but Peter Hart has been quiet today. Thomas Sullivan and Marshall throughout the game done extremely well.
Well, this should be level at this stage. That was a
high tackle. That was a heavy tackle.
Sure was. Referee, the goalkeeper rather, is still in his rookie year. Concerned Mickey Hart now on the sideline in his 17th season in charge. Both sets of fans now raising the noise level in a crowd of just under 34,000. Disappointing crowd, it has to be said. Here comes one of the substitutes for Kerry, Dara Moynihan. There's a player down, Stephen O'Brien, so it's got to be a free.
Tiernan McCann fouling him off the ball, and Maurice Deegan has been consistent on this throughout the afternoon. Just as he's going to run, pull jersey, and Stephen O'Brien went down. Easy free for Maurice Deegan to give, and another opportunity for Sean O'Shea.
It's not a time for indiscipline. It's a time to produce something extra special from within.
He's having a word with Tommy Walsh. He's got some information in his ear, so Tommy Walsh needs to be careful.
Already booked, of course. Free to Kerry. Shawnee O'Shea will take it. 3 converted frees in the second half, 5 points in all. Kerry have converted 6 of their 7 frees in the entire match. 62 minutes have gone, and that ball has gone as well, and it's gone over the crossbar. A huge kick, an important kick, because there are 4 between the teams again.
Yeah, but it's just showing you the value of a place kicker, of his ability. Brilliant score from distance, and it sets up the grandstand finish now.
Conor Myler. Tyrone may well rue that goal opportunity missed that they had a little while ago, but there's still time. Down towards Cathal McShane once more, and as he goes for it, 2 or 3 players from Kerry converge on him, and the referee sees the boot thrust out and is awarded a free against Tyrone.
Yeah, and I felt Cathal McShane was under a lot of pressure there. Looked like he could have got a free in.
Certainly did, because I thought his hand was being held back.
And Tyke Morley had the hand across him, and he didn't get a free, and all of a sudden it's a free out, and you see the Kerry lads growing in confidence now. What we've seen from the Tyrone players in the first half.
Strange decision, strange. But it's a free to Kerry, and they'll be very, very pleased with that. Shane Ryan, like the other goalkeeper, Niall Morgan, plays outfield for his club team. His club team being Rathmore. Tyke Morley confidently dispatching it across to David Moran. Out it comes to Jack Sherwood. He's had some very good minutes since coming on at half-time. Moynihan. Moran. Sherwood again. Held on to by Brian O'Biagli. O'Biagli looking up, sees 3 men forward ahead of him. One of them Paul Gainey. Over here to David Clifford, fancies it, wallops it in with the left and over the bar. 4 for Clifford. 3 from open play, and they're ahead by 5.
Yeah, and they're talked about these young players coming into Croke Park. They've never won a match. But David Clifford is a player of immense quality, and you can see, I don't know how he found that space at this point in the game. You just cannot afford, Tyrone cannot afford to give him that kind of space. If you do, he's going to punish you, and that was an excellent point for 40 yards.
Darren McCurry is on. Michael Cassidy, the one who's made way for Tyrone. We're heading towards the last 5 minutes. Well, it's sad to see Michael Cassidy having to leave in this manner, being helped out by the physio, who's Michael Hart. McCurry is a really good inside forward, brought back into the panel this year by Mickey Hart. He opted out last year because of problems getting time off from work and so on. So can Darren McCurry make a late impression?
Yeah, and look at the accuracy from the Kerry team in the second half. 9 points from 11 opportunities, 82% conversion rate, where Tyrone have dropped down to 40% in the second half.
4 points behind at half-time, 5 ahead at this stage, a 9-point turnaround by Kerry. They deserve enormous credit for the manner in which they've approached the challenge that faced them at the break.
And you'd have to say, we talked about Peter Keane coming into half-time. Jack Sherwood has made a difference, Gavin White and Tommy Walsh, since introduced, has done extremely well.
Really good subs to be able to bring in, but it's not done just yet. Conor Myler in difficulty, and he trips his man there, who was David Clifford, and the result will be a free to Kerry, and the time is against Tyrone.
And this is where they're using all the time, the composure. David Clifford intercepted the ball. Just shows you the modern forward has to tackle as well.
Well, it's very much advantage Kerry as we head towards the final minutes of this match. Bear in mind that there's usually at least another 5 minutes of added time, so there could be as part of 9 or 10 minutes still to play. Both sides need to remain composed if at all possible and see the bigger picture. Conor McAlliskey there in the thick of that, holding back Dara Moynihan.
Yeah, and you'd have to say it's a definite free, and Conor McAlliskey just caught him high. I think it was just a loose. Yeah, he came in late there, and
yellow card for a man who was the leading scorer for Tyrone in last year's championship. He hasn't figured that much in terms of starting games this year.
David Moran's on the free. What can he manufacture? He's obviously going to look for something short. Needs some runners and options.
Nobody's making an immediate run, so let's see. He's got Stephen O'Brien here on his left-hand side, near the sideline. Goes into the corner here towards Tommy Welch. And Tommy has won another free, and that could be another bright moment in the afternoon for Kerry, because it frustrates Tyrone even more.
Yeah, high tackle, and Tommy Griffin ran out, got the medical team in there, slowing down the clock, and this is going to suit this Kerry team down to a treat. You would have to say the introduction of Tommy Walsh has been immense.
James Foley there near the manager, offering some advice. It's a very, very good backroom team that they've got, with Griffin that you've mentioned, Tony Buckley of course as well, and Maurice Fitzgerald. Not half bad. Stephen O'Brien, who got a goal and a point in the second half. Crucial scores at a crucial time. Back in here it comes to Gavin Crowley, looking to get the next score. Tommy Walsh, I don't think it'll make the highlights.
Yeah,
somehow.
David Moran was screaming inside. He was standing on the 14-yard line, no one near him, and Tommy Walsh got emotional. Poor effort.
Well, Tyrone's second half has been rather poor. Just 4 points in all in the 33 minutes so far for them. 1 point from play. Cathal McShane trying to curl this one in. That's brilliantly done. That is his 6th point of the game, and 4 of those have been from play. It means we're back to a 4-point game again, and it's not over yet.
Yeah, he's been excellent today. Missed a couple of opportunities early in the second half, but you'd have to say, as a target man, he's an immense talent.
Brian Kennedy is about to come on. He was programmed to start, so on he comes now in the 69th minute.
Yeah, and we're looking at the Kerry
Colin
team.
Kavanagh going off.
Marstegan, another treatment, another player down, and it's running the clock down again. Gavin Crowley this time.
Well, it's even a little bit too early with additional time still to be played to speculate on a Kerry versus Dublin final. Mickey Hart will have other ideas. Played his hand very well, I thought, for the opening 35 minutes. They got all the calls right, really.
Absolutely. You would have to say that in the first half things worked. The long ball was working well, Matty Donnelly and himself, but there was a period there in the second half where they were just a bit wasteful from their shooting. Had great opportunities, didn't take them, but that goal, the loose pass by Kieran McGeary, ended up into Stephen O'Brien's hands, and a couple of seconds later he was burying the ball to the net, and that was a massive play in this match.
If Kerry do get to the final, you would imagine on the basis of the substitutions and so on, the battle for the positions, the first 15 on the day of the final, will be some battle in training. But there's work to do yet. And Tyrone might be the team that will be there yet. You wouldn't know. Donnelly, that's Richie Donnelly, looking to put over another one and make Kerry even more nervous. Richie Donnelly's first point.
And back to a 3-point game, 6 minutes of injury time as well on the clock.
Just a goal separating the sides.
Yeah, great play by Richie Donnelly. He's done extremely well today. Very hard working. Dummied on the right, great score on the left.
Jonathan Lyne coming on. Player who's gone off for Kerry is Gavin Crowley. Well, where there were 5 up a little while ago, Kerry.
Yeah.
And looking most likely to make it, it's now rather nervous. And possession is absolutely vital here. And it's Moynihan who's won it there for Kerry. Gavin White back in his usual half-back position. O'Bagley storms forward. Who's going to get the next score? Dara Moynihan once again. Into the corner here, towards Paul Gainey. Point in each half for him. Into Stephen O'Brien, ever the danger. Gainey now, trying to measure this one absolutely perfectly. 3 for Gainey. A crucial score at a critical time in the match.
We talked about class players and class finishers, Clifford O'Shea, but Paul Gainey is as good as any of them on his day, and that's a magnificent point. And what's 4 between them again?
Myler carries it forward to Richie Donnelly, who got that last score for Tyrone. And they've lost their way. They've a chance to recover, and he's the one who goes in. The foul committed by Murphy. Free quickly taken. Referee takes evasive action. Darren McCurry now. He can put this over the bar. And he's done so. The sub doing his job. It's still just a 1-score game.
Yeah, great experience by Darren McCurry, because it brings it back to the 1 score. And
the crucial goal after 56 minutes. Now the kick out here by Shane Ryan needs to be retained by Kerry. And Tyrone need to challenge. That's well held onto by Tommy Walsh once again. How crucial his ability, his experience has been in this second half. Out to Jack Sherwood, carrying it forward. 2.5 minutes into the 6 minutes of additional time. Retained here by Jonathan Lyne. Man who was on the last Kerry team to win the All-Ireland back in 2014. 2015 they played against Dublin and couldn't put back-to-back titles. It was the beginning of Dublin's what is now a search for 5. David Moran back in towards Stephen O'Brien. It's Stephen O'Brien to kick this one up and over. That should be that, you would think, with 3 minutes of the 6th gone. 4 points the margin.
Yeah, great work again by Jack Sherwood. Laid it off to David Moran, who went into that man, Stephen O'Brien. What a season he's having for this team. Immense contribution today.
Peter Hart going long to McShane, the one man who might be able to turn it around in Tyrone's favour. A superb 6 points so far. First he tormented Jason Foley, and now Tyke Morley having his problems.
And Tyke Morley, you can see there's Marstegan's after bringing the ball forward as well for a bit of descent, making this kick pretty routine.
Well, he's kicked 2 or 3 from that angle already. Made 2 out of 3 in the second half from frees. Same position. Now looking for the best possible result, and he's got it.
And Tyrone are putting a lot of pressure on Shane Ryan's kick out right now.
A goal now for Tyrone could well take this match into extra time, and there would be extra time. Jack Barry is the one who's being prepared down there. Referee holding it up while the change can be made. Just making sure that there are 15 on the field. And there's a Tyrone player, that's Rory Brennan, making way. And they're going to make their change as well. It looks like it's Aidan McCrory who's coming in. Or is that the case? No, he's still there, Rory Brennan. It's Tom O'Sullivan who made way. So Tom O'Sullivan gone off the Kerry team and he's been replaced. Jack Barry on. Out it comes here as far as Jack Barry. Man who played midfield here in the league final when they lost to Mayo. They're intent on winning here and are currently doing so and securing their place in the All-Ireland final in 3 weeks' time. And Darragh Moynihan with Clifford, this time with the right, and that one is up and it's over the bar. He's got a magnificent 5 this afternoon. This prodigious talent for Peter Keane's team. They're ahead by 4 again. As you can see, we're into the last minute of the 6th.
He'll surely pick up a black card here, but again, great play by Darragh Moynihan into David Clifford, but what a finish.
Well, if it is Stephen O'Brien and if it is a black card, yeah. I think he went into this match with 2 black cards against him.
Yeah.
And he could possibly miss the All-Ireland final. Ooh.
Yeah, we've seen Peter Hart and he appealed it. You can only appeal the black cards when you get to 3, but that's massive, and if he can miss the All-Ireland final because of that black card, frustration. You see it, there's a definite black card.
Well, that will have to be checked out just to see if it is the case. Peter Hart kicking and putting this one over. It's too little, I think, too late. There's a goal between them still, and we have played the 6 minutes, and now it's up to the referee to signal how many more seconds there will be. They're ready.
That's it.
Kerry are ready, and Kerry have got their way and will be in the All-Ireland final in 3 weeks' time. They came from behind. They made the right changes, and Peter Keane, in his first year as manager, has guided the kingdom back to the biggest day in Gaelic football. They'll be here against Dublin in the 2019 All-Ireland football final. Well, it was the changes in the second half that turned it around. Remember, they were behind by 4 at half-time, and they have won by 3. Well, he would have settled for a 1-point victory at the end. It's congratulations all around. Someday, some success.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk about the subs. I thought Jack Sherwood was immense in the second half. Tommy Walsh had a massive contribution, but the attitude, they introduced pace and power. Well, now it's an All-Ireland final against the Dubs to try stop the 5 in a row, and it's probably destiny. Can this team stop them? And there'll be a massive effort. You would have to say that in the second half, Stephen O'Brien, and it's going to be very interesting the next couple of weeks to see if he's going to be eligible for the final. But when you have a player like David Clifford and Paul Ganey in his team, just get them ball, because the accuracy in the second half, they really brought it to this Tyrone team, and they really fell flat, you would have to say, Tyrone, but Kerry brought a different level of intensity, and their ability to score from distance was incredible.
So there's to be no second final in a row for Tyrone. They had certainly a big advantage at half-time. You felt they were doing everything right, but in the second half it was Kerry who showed what they have in the locker, and they made the changes. But the players who were on the field as well, David Clifford finishing with 5, Ganey with 3, and of course Stephen O'Brien finishing with a goal and 2. Shawnee O'Shea was great with those frees. He converted 6 in all. Cathal McShane, well, he was the star for Tyrone, but they needed more and didn't have it in the second half because Kerry had the answers, and now we are set for a Dublin-Kerry final. It's kind of like El Clasico when it comes to Gaelic football, the big two. Absolute bitter disappointment for Tyrone, however. disappointment and defeat is their lot. And now, from Peter Keane's point of view, well, he's going to have to start thinking in terms of how can we beat the Dubs?
Yeah, well, that's obviously going to be a massive task, because Dublin yesterday were immense, you would have to say, in the second half. Brian Fenton, Kerry Kilkenny, but Kerry will come with their guns fired. To have a forward unit that when they play football, you'd have to say second half there, Paul Gainey's kicked some excellent point, and David Clifford, when they really needed in the last couple of minutes, kicked 5 points, 4 from play. And Stephen O'Brien, as I mentioned, so direct and such a great player. And then from the ground, off the free, Shawnee O'Shea is a very special talent. And all in all, you'd have to say, they might be a young team, but they're a very talented team.
So well done to Kerry. They will be in the final on the opening day in September. And the final score here in this second All-Ireland football semi-final, it is Kerry 118, Tyrone 18 points.
Thank you, Ger. Thank you, Desi. Pat Spillane enjoying that second half performance. 113 in the second half from Kerry.
Do you know what? In a way, wasn't it a bit like last night's semi-final as well, where in the first half Dublin was so poor, first half Kerry was so poor, and a complete role reversal in the second half. Second half, Kerry brought intensity, got more energy. The substitutions, Jack Sherwood brought power and pace. Tommy Walsh was a brilliant target man, a great outlet for the ball. Excellent switches. Tadhg Morley going on to Carl McShane.
OK, and Carl McShane was one of the contenders for man of the match. Who did you go with, Kevin McStay?
Well, in the end, and maybe we're a bit late in this because he's starred in other matches. Stephen O'Brien, outstanding, Joanne, and when they needed him, did he show up? 1-2.
Yeah, and not for the first time this season, that's for sure. Man of the match, Kerry Stephen O'Brien is with Marty.
Thank you very much, Joanne. Stephen O'Brien, congratulations. That was some second half performance.
Yeah, I suppose we're happy with it. We definitely needed it at half time. I suppose there was a few choice words at half time, and we came out a different team, and that's the way we want to play going forward.
And the substitutions made such a difference as well. Tommy Walsh having a huge role.
Yeah, I suppose everyone knows that the substitution bench is a huge role to play in Gaelic football, and there's loads of lads pushing there to be on the starting team, pushing to be in the 26, so that's the strength of our panel, so it's good to see.
You scored 1-2 today, that goal. Can you remember it? Because you had to be very calm and collected.
Yeah, I suppose Paul put it on a plate for me there, so I was kind of 1-on-1, so just hit it there and hope for the best.
Looking forward to an All-Ireland final. I'm sure Kerry will celebrate over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, huge challenge in the final against Dublin, so really looking forward to a great occasion.
I make it out that was your third black card, which could mean that you could miss the All-Ireland final. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I was aware of that going in, but I think the black card in the Meath game was very harsh. I was running off the ball and there was an accidental head clash, so really certainly looking to appeal that one.